I would like to thank you for tuning in to Cole's Controversy. I am Coley, the host of this channel. So today's controversial topic that we'll be discussing are going to be abusers and the people that protect them. So I ask that you guys like, comment, and share on this video. Once again, it is bringing awareness to domestic violence and sexual assault, and it's also bringing awareness to reasons as to why people choose not to tell. Okay, so remember to like, remember to share, and feel free to always ask any questions you would like, as long as they're classy and tasteful, in the comment section. So okay, a lot of times people would say, oh, well, they're in a domestic situation and she's gonna go back anyway, so what's the purpose of, you know, us intervening, because she's not going to do anything but go back. Now that is something that I understood. That's a question that I can understand, because at one point in time I asked that very same question, and from a person and from also being around a lot of women and also men that have gone through domestic violence, it's so much of a process, because for one, you've built a bond with this person, you love this person, and you care for this person. So already with them violating you, it's hard for you to wrap your mind around it. Like, did they really do it because they wanted to hurt me? Or, you know, maybe it was just a bad day and they lost their temper. And then it gets to a point where sometimes, depending on the abuser, it's like you internalize it as if it's your fault, because one, you chose them. Two, you put yourself in that situation. Three, you've pretty much allowed it to happen. So now it's a guilt factor and it's a shame factor. Okay? And then you're trying to tell the loved ones, like, well, this is what's going on. And either they act as if they don't hear you and completely ignore what you're saying, or they go into this denial mode to act as if you're lying, or they just can't believe it and, oh my gosh, not that person. It's a lot of tendencies that come along with people speaking out against abusive people. Now, abusive people, they tend to be very manipulative. The side that they show the person that they're abusing is not always the side that they're going to show the public. A lot of times, those people that you would believe would never hit a woman is the one going home whooping on their wife. And when it all comes out, it's like, oh, she's just bitter and she's angry and they're breaking up, and now, or why would you wait until now to say something? Because she knew saying something before would not be effective. Another thing, people always say, oh, well, women, they go in these abusive situations, or they do, or even men, they're in these abusive situations, and then they always choose to use the I love you card, or they always choose to go back with the person. Now, depending on the type of abusive person you with, separation violence is very, very, very dangerous, okay? Because there are people that will get very hostile because they cannot take rejection. So if you try to break up with them, they will stalk you, they will beat you, they will harass you, they will harass your loved ones, they will stalk your loved ones, they will try to fight, or they will intimidate, or they will antagonize your significant other, the new one. And you'll try to go to the court system and get assistance, and they will not help you at all. Okay? It has to be very serious for them to even bat their eyes in your direction. A lot of times these men, they go into the court system, and even these abusers, they go into the court system and they know how to manipulate. They know how to cry, they know how to use a mental disability, and a lot of the cases it's not even them, it's the lawyer that they have that's getting them off, that's telling them what they can do in order to further abuse you. Then we think about these men. We don't really think about the cop that goes home and beat his wife. We don't think about the military veteran or the active duty officer that goes home and beat on and violates their significant other. We don't talk about the judge that emotionally and mentally abuses his wife and his children. We don't talk about the egotistical lawyers that go home and mentally abuse their children and the people around them. We don't talk about that because we think that that they are above all of that. And in all actuality, these are the people that tend to break the law because they feel they are above the law. They create the law. They enforce the law. But no, we can't think of that because of their status. There are a lot of things that we as people need to understand when it comes to abuse. That abuse goes beyond just the physical. It is the mental abuse, the emotional abuse. The physical abuse, yes, it makes you want to leave. The psychological abuse is what makes them stay. So when you're looking at someone and you're trying to figure out, hey, why didn't this person leave? Why aren't they up and walking out? Why aren't they doing X, Y, and Z? 9 times out of 10, because psychologically, they're in a place where they cannot. Maybe it can also be because when they opened up their mouth to say, hey, this is what they're doing to me and I need help, people want to discard them because maybe that first time psychologically they broke and went back. So now it's like you ward them off, like, oh, well, whatever. Abuse goes well beyond the physical. And the abuser understands that. An abuser understands the dynamics of his victim or her victim. They understand. They know how to manipulate that situation. These are very cunning. These are very charming. These are people that are able to manipulate the situation in ways in which they can gain your trust and then they can harm you. So when you look at someone and they're in an abusive situation, prior to you judging them, do some research. Understand the psyche. Understand the psychological effects that have been instilled or that has played a part in this person's lifestyle. Understand. Look at the pattern of abuse in their lifestyle to see if abuse is something that they've been dealing with throughout a lifetime. You know, you have to look at more than just the physical. Okay? Now, I'm going to make another video. And what I'm going to address is I'm going to address the enablers. I talked about the abuse. I talked about the blaming aspect. But we're going to talk about the enablers of these abusers. Okay? So I want to thank you guys for tuning in to Coast Controversy. I ask that you make sure that you like, that you comment, that you share, and make sure that you don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Alright? Thank you for tuning in. I'm Colleen. Enjoy your day. From me to you and Coast Controversy.